When Thomas Wright died in March 2024, his apartment was nearly empty. 68 years old. Heart attack. Died alone. No wife. No kids. Sister had died in 2015. Parents long gone. Just Thomas. Living in a small one-bedroom in New Haven. Rent controlled. $500 a month. Same apartment for 25 years. Yale custodial workers found his body. Called police. Standard procedure for unattended death. Police inventoried his belongings. Not much. Furniture from the 1980s. Clothes. A few books. And on his bedside table, a small spiral notebook. Blue. Worn. The officer flipped through it. Names. 127 of them. Alphabetical. With notes beside each. Rebecca Chen, Physics, Calculus, 1994 to 1998. Marcus Johnson, Organic Chemistry, 2003 to 2004. Sarah Patel, Engineering Mechanics, 2010 to 2012. David Kim, Quantum Physics, 2015 to 2017. Page after page. 127 students. Subjects taught. Years covered. The officer didn't understand. Called Yale. We found a notebook in Thomas Wright's apartment. List of students. Looks like he was tutoring them. Yale HR. Thomas was a custodial worker. Night shift. Physics building. 25 years. He wasn't authorized to tutor students. Well, he has 127 names in this notebook. Spanning 1994 to 2019. Silence on the line. Then, we'll send someone to collect his effects. The notebook ended up with Yale's HR department. Sat in a file. Until Dr. Rebecca Chen called. May 2024. 2 months after Thomas died. Rebecca was retiring. Physics professor. 30 years at Yale. Writing her farewell speech. Remembered Thomas. The janitor who'd tutored her freshman year. Saved her from failing. Taught her for 4 years. Free. She'd heard he died. Wanted to mention him in her speech. Called HR for details. Could she access his personnel file? Public record after death. They sent her everything. Including the notebook. Rebecca opened it. Saw her own name. Rebecca Chen, Physics, Calculus, 1994 to 1998. And 126 others. She started crying. Thomas hadn't just helped her. He'd helped 126 other students. For 25 years. After his cleaning shift. Free. Secret. Rebecca started calling them. The students in the notebook. Now doctors. Lawyers. Engineers. Professors. CEOs. Did Thomas Wright tutor you at Yale? Oh my God. Thomas. Yes. The night janitor. He saved my life. I was failing chemistry. He taught me for months. 4 a.m. After his shift. Never asked for money. I'm a pharmaceutical researcher now. Because of him. Thomas taught me physics. I thought I was too dumb for science. He showed me I wasn't. Spent a year helping me. I'm an astrophysicist now. Published 60 papers. Because Thomas believed in me. I had no idea he was helping other students. I thought I was the only one. He made me feel special. Like he was tutoring just me. But there were 126 others. Did you know he had a PhD from MIT? What? No. He said he used to study physics. I had no idea. 127 students. All with the same story. Struggling. Desperate. Couldn't afford help. And a janitor, making $9 to $15 an hour, taught them. After his night shift. 2 a.m. 4 a.m. 6 a.m. Free. For 25 years. Rebecca compiled the data. Their professions. Their impact. 23 doctors. 18 lawyers. 31 engineers. 19 scientists. 12 professors. 8 CEOs. 16 teachers. All taught by a janitor with an MIT PhD. Who'd chosen to clean floors so he could stay near students. And May 2024, Rebecca stood at her retirement ceremony. 500 people. And revealed Thomas's notebook. 127 names. 25 years of secret teaching. We never thanked him, Rebecca said. He died 2 months ago. Alone. And we never told him what he meant to us. But we're telling you now. And we've created the Thomas Wright Scholarship Fund. $2.7 million. From the 127 of us. Full scholarships for students who can't afford help. Because Thomas taught us for free. And we're passing it forward. 1982. MIT. Cambridge, Massachusetts. Thomas Wright stood at the front of the lecture hall. 26 years old. PhD defense. Theoretical physics. Dissertation, quantum computing applications in cryptography. Cutting edge. Revolutionary for 1982. Personal computers barely existed. Quantum computing was science fiction. But Thomas saw the future. And proved it mathematically. The committee. Impressed. 4 professors. All agreed. Pass with distinction. Mr. Wright, you have job offers? Yes, sir. Harvard. Stanford. Yale. All research positions. Which will you accept? I'm still deciding. But Thomas was leaning towards Stanford. Quantum computing lab. Startup funding. 6-figure salary. His career was about to begin. That night, Thomas celebrated. His parents flew up from North Carolina. His younger sister Maya, 16, came too. Proud. Their brother had a PhD from MIT. They went to dinner. Italian restaurant in Cambridge. Toasted with sparkling cider. Maya was underage. Laughed. Made plans. Maya, when you're a famous scientist, you'll take me to your Nobel Prize ceremony, right? Thomas grinned. Deal. Front row seat. They drove back to Thomas's apartment. Late. Roads icy. December in Boston. A car ran a red light. Hit them on the driver's side. Where Maya sat. Thomas's parents. Minor injuries. Thomas. Fractured ribs, concussion. Maya. Traumatic brain injury. Critical condition. Emergency surgery. She survived. Barely. But the damage was severe. Cognitive impairment. Physical disabilities. Would need care for life. Rehabilitation. Long-term care facility. Specialized therapy. Insurance covered some. Not all. The gaps were enormous. Thomas's parents, working class. Father was a mechanic. Mother a cafeteria worker. No savings. Couldn't afford Maya's care. Thomas had job offers. But the salaries, even 6 figures, wouldn't cover everything. Research positions didn't offer the kind of benefits Maya needed. Thomas made a choice. Turned down Stanford. Harvard. Yale. All of them. Took a job, insurance adjuster. Boring. Soul-crushing. But stable. Excellent health insurance. Benefits that covered Maya's care. For 12 years, Thomas worked in insurance. Filed claims. Talked to customers. Went home exhausted. Read physics journals at night. Kept up with the field. But wasn't part of it. Maya stabilized. Good care facility. Good therapy. Lived independently with support by 1994. Happy. Grateful to her brother who'd sacrificed everything for her. Thomas was 38. Wanted back into physics. Couldn't get research positions, too long away, no recent publications, too old according to hiring committees. Applied to universities. Not as professor. As janitor. Night shift. Physics buildings. So he could be near the subject he loved. Yale hired him. 1994. $9 an hour. Night shift. 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Benefits. And access to libraries, lectures, labs. Thomas took it. Cleaned floors. Emptied trash. Wiped down tables. And read physics journals during breaks. Attended open lectures. Stayed brilliant. And when he saw students struggling, late at night, crying over textbooks, Thomas helped. Because he remembered being a student. And because teaching was what he was supposed to do anyway. Just found a different path to get there. If you believe in people who sacrifice careers for family, in janitors who are secretly geniuses, and in teachers who ask for nothing in return, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to Echoes of Courage, and share this story. Because sometimes the most brilliant minds are the ones we walk past every day without noticing. October 1994. Yale University. 2 a.m. Rebecca Chen sat alone in the physics library. 18 years old. Freshman. Crying. Physics textbook open. Quantum mechanics. She'd read the chapter 12 times. Didn't understand. Tomorrow, midterm. She was going to fail. Rebecca's parents were Chinese immigrants. Ran a laundromat. Worked 80 hours a week. Barely spoke English. Couldn't help with homework. Couldn't afford a tutor. $50 an hour they didn't have. Rebecca had a full scholarship. Only reason she was at Yale. If she failed physics, she'd lose it. And everything. 2 a.m. Sobbing into her textbook. I'm so stupid. I don't understand. I'm going to lose everything. Footsteps. Rebecca looked up. A man. Late 30s. Black. Custodial uniform. Yale ID. Thomas Wright, Custodial Services. Cleaning cart. He stopped. You okay, sweetheart? Rebecca wiped her eyes. I'm fine. Just studying. Thomas looked at the textbook. Quantum mechanics. That's a tough chapter. Rebecca stared. You know about quantum mechanics? A little. May I? He pointed to the chair beside her. What did Rebecca have to lose? She nodded. Thomas sat. Looked at the textbook. Okay. The book's explaining this mathematically. That's precise but not intuitive. Let me try differently. Imagine two dancers who always mirror each other, no matter how far apart. For 2 hours, Thomas explained quantum entanglement. Metaphors. Examples. Clear diagrams on scratch paper. Rebecca understood. Finally. How do you know all this? She asked. Are you a professor? Thomas laughed. No. I'm a janitor. Night shift. But I used to study physics. Where? MIT. Got my PhD in 1982. Theoretical physics. Rebecca's jaw dropped. You have a PhD from MIT? And you're a janitor. Thomas's smile faded. Life's complicated. I needed a stable job. Good insurance. My sister was in an accident. Needed care. I took care of her. Ended up here. And I'm happy. I get to be around physics. Around students. I can help kids like you who are struggling. That's enough. You'd help me? For free. Of course. After my shift, 6 a.m., I can tutor you. Physics. Math. Whatever you need. No charge. Someone helped me once. I'm passing it forward. Rebecca started crying again. Relief. Why would you do that? Thomas stood. Because you deserve a chance. And because I love teaching. This isn't work. It's joy. For the next 4 years, Thomas tutored Rebecca. 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. After cleaning all night. Free. Never missed unless he was sick. Rebecca graduated with honors. PhD program. Became a physics professor. Because a janitor with an MIT PhD had seen her crying at 2 a.m. and decided to help. 1994 to 2019. 25 years. Thomas didn't just help Rebecca. Over 25 years, he helped 126 others. He noticed students studying late, struggling, crying, stressed, asked if they needed help. If they said yes, Thomas taught them. After his shift. Unpaid hours. 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. Sometimes later. Teaching whatever they needed. Physics, chemistry, calculus, engineering, biology, even computer science and economics. Thomas had taught himself everything. Read journals. Attended lectures. Stayed brilliant despite working as a janitor. Students wondered, how does a janitor know quantum field theory? Thomas. I read a lot. Most didn't push. Just grateful for help. Thomas kept the notebook. Names. Subjects. Years. Not for pride. To remember them. To know he'd helped. 127 students over 25 years. He never charged money. Never asked for recognition. Just cleaned floors by night. Taught students at dawn. Some became doctors, lawyers, engineers, scientists, professors, all because a janitor had cared enough to teach them. Before we continue, pause and comment below. Have you ever been helped by someone you underestimated? Someone whose job title didn't reflect their brilliance? Share your story. March 2024. Thomas's death. Thomas Wright died at home. March 15, 2024. Heart attack. Sudden. 68 years old. His sister Maya had died in 2015. His parents years before. Never married. No children. He died alone. In his small apartment. $500 a month. Same place for 25 years. Co-workers found him. Called police. Standard procedure. Police inventoried his belongings. Not much. Furniture from decades ago. Books. Clothes. And the notebook. Blue. Spiral bound. Worn. 127 names. Students. Subjects. Years. The officer didn't understand. Called Yale. Found a notebook. Looks like Thomas Wright was tutoring students. Yale HR, he was a custodial worker. Not authorized to tutor. Well, he has 127 names here. Spanning 25 years. The notebook went to HR. Filed away. Thomas's funeral. Small. Few co-workers. Some distant relatives. 20 people maybe. Nobody knew. About the tutoring. About the 127 students. About the MIT PhD. Just. Thomas Wright. Janitor. Died alone. Quiet service. Buried. Forgotten. Until Rebecca called. May 2024. Rebecca's investigation. Dr. Rebecca Chen was retiring. 52 years old. 30 years as a physics professor at Yale. Writing her farewell speech. Wanted to thank people who'd helped her. Thought of Thomas. The janitor who'd tutored her freshman year. Saved her life. Heard he'd died. Wanted to mention him. Called Yale HR. Can I access Thomas Wright's personnel file? I'd like to honor him in my retirement speech. They sent everything. Including the notebook. Rebecca opened it. Saw her own name, Rebecca Chen, Physics, Calculus, 1994 to 1998. And 126 others. She started crying. Thomas hadn't just helped her. He'd helped 126 more students. For 25 years. Free. Secret. Rebecca started calling them. Finding them on LinkedIn. Through alumni networks. Did Thomas Wright, the night janitor, tutor you at Yale? Responses flooded back. Oh my God. Thomas saved my life. I was failing organic chemistry. He taught me for 3 months. 4 a.m. Never charged me. I'm a surgeon now. Thomas taught me calculus. I was going to drop out of engineering. He spent the whole semester helping me. I design spacecraft now. I thought he was just a kind janitor. I had no idea he had a PhD from MIT. He made me feel like I was the only student he was helping. I had no idea there were 126 others. Rebecca compiled the data. 127 students total. Their current professions. 23 doctors, 18 lawyers, 31 engineers, 19 scientists, 12 professors, 16 teachers. All taught by a janitor making $9 to $15 an hour. Who had a PhD from MIT. Who chose to clean floors so he could stay near students. Rebecca created a plan. The retirement speech would reveal Thomas's secret. And honor him the way he deserved. May 18, 2024. Rebecca's retirement ceremony. Woolsey Hall. Yale University. 500 people. Faculty. Students. Alumni. Dr. Rebecca Chen walked to the podium. Retirement speech. End of 30-year career. Started traditionally. Thanked colleagues. Mentors. Students. Then paused. Deep breath. There's someone I need to thank. Someone who's not here. His name was Thomas Wright. He died 2 months ago. March 15th. Heart attack. He was 68 years old. Most of you didn't know Thomas. He worked the night shift as a janitor in the physics building. For 25 years. In 1994, I was a freshman. Failing physics. Couldn't afford a tutor. I was going to lose my scholarship. Drop out. One night, 2 a.m., I was in the library, crying over quantum mechanics. And Thomas stopped his cleaning cart. Asked if I needed help. I said yes. Desperate. He sat down. Explained quantum entanglement better than any professor ever had. I asked how he knew this. He said, I have a PhD in physics from MIT. Class of 1982. A janitor. With a PhD from MIT. He tutored me for 4 years. After his shift. 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. Free. Never asked for money. Just taught me physics. I graduated with honors. Became a professor. Because Thomas saw me crying and decided to help. And when Thomas died, I found this. Rebecca held up the notebook. Blue. Worn. Thomas kept a notebook. 127 names. Students he tutored. Over 25 years. All struggling. All couldn't afford help. All taught by Thomas. After his cleaning shift. For free. I called them. The 126 others. They're doctors now. Lawyers. Engineers. Scientists. Professors. CEOs. All successful. All because a janitor with an MIT PhD cared enough to teach them. Thomas sacrificed a research career to care for his sister after an accident. Couldn't get back into academia. So he became a janitor. To stay near physics. Near students. And he taught us. 127 of us. Free. Secret. Never asked for recognition. We never thanked him publicly. He died alone. And we were too late. But we can honor him now. Rebecca paused. Emotional. The 127 of us have created the Thomas Wright Scholarship Fund. We've raised $2.7 million. Full scholarships for first-generation students who can't afford tutors. At Yale. In perpetuity. Because Thomas taught us for free. And now we're teaching others. The way he would have wanted. Thomas thought no one noticed. That his work was invisible. But we noticed. All 127 of us. And we're making sure the world knows. Thomas Wright was a genius. A teacher. A hero. Who changed our lives. One late-night tutoring session at a time. The auditorium stood. All 500 people. Applauding. Crying. For a janitor who died 2 months earlier. Who no one knew was brilliant. Until 127 students said, "We remember. We noticed. And we're grateful." Epilogue. The Thomas Wright Scholarship Fund launched June 2024. $2.7 million. Invested. Generates approximately $135,000 annually. Full scholarships for 3 first-generation students per year. Recipients must demonstrate financial need. Must be struggling academically despite effort. Must need tutoring support. The first 3 recipients, announced September 2024. All first generation. All struggling with STEM courses. All receiving free tutoring through the scholarship program. One recipient said, "I was going to drop out. I couldn't afford help. I was failing. And then I got this scholarship. Someone I never met, Thomas Wright, is helping me from beyond the grave. I won't let him down." Thomas's notebook is now displayed in Yale's physics building. Framed. Glass case. With a plaque. Thomas Elijah Wright, PhD, MIT 1982. Custodial worker, Yale University, 1994 to 2019. Secretly tutored 127 students over 25 years. Asked for nothing. Changed everything. Someone helped me once. I'm passing it forward. Rebecca Chin visits it often. Brings new students. Tells them Thomas's story. See this notebook? 127 names. My name is in there. And because Thomas taught me, a janitor who was secretly a genius, I became a professor. I taught thousands of students. Who will teach thousands more. One janitor. 127 students. Infinite impact. That's what happens when brilliance meets humility. When genius chooses service. When someone with nothing gives everything. Thomas Wright. We finally see you. And we're grateful. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, subscribe to Echoes of Courage, and share it with someone who needs to know that brilliance can be found anywhere, even pushing a cleaning cart at 2 a.m. Leave a comment. Have you ever been underestimated because of your job? Or underestimated someone else? How did that change you? Thank you for watching. And to every janitor, custodian, and service worker reading this, you are seen. Your work matters. And you might be someone's Thomas Wright without even knowing it.